that they suffered were heavily exacerbated by inflation, interest hikes, and the overall weakness of, here it comes, the tech markets, as SVB specialized in lending to tech startups, and most depositors were tech workers and VC-backed companies. Much of the bank's deposits, and this is wild, were uninsured. Now, this is not in our notes, so you guys will have to forgive me if I've got the exact details wrong, but my understanding is that deposits were insured up to a maximum of $250,000.
I believe so.
Now, this is something that is, I would say from an individual standpoint, very much a first world problem. But most banks that I'm aware of do, in fact, have a limit to how much your balance can be before it just goes beyond what their insurance will cover. And in the event of a bank run or insolvency or other kind of, hey, poof, the money's gone event, it is simply not covered. It is irrecoverable.
So the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, or FDIC.gov, says that standard deposit insurance amount is $250K per depositor per insured bank for each account ownership category. So $250K is insured by government.
So,
but companies on company scale,
yes,
$250K.
I was getting to that.
Is small.
From an individual standpoint, right?
Lots.
Oh, I'm sorry. Your $251,000 is not fully covered in your bank account. Boo hoo hoo. Cry me a river.
You still have $250K. Right? You're a person, whatever. That's tons of money.
That's a lot of money to have in the bank.
Money.
But let me tell you something. From a business standpoint, look around you. Okay, right? Do the math. How many people work here?
I think we're over 100 now. We're close to it.
Does anyone know what minimum wage is here?
We don't pay minimum wage.
I know, but I'm doing
BC, I think it's like 14. Let me look it up.
Okay. So we've got 100 people. Okay.
$15.65 per hour.
So let's assume that we paid minimum wage, which we don't. Okay, so that would be $1,565 per hour. What does that work out to in a work week? Let's say everyone was working 40 hours. We have full-time employees. We're just doing this math live here. That would be $62,600 per work week, which is only half of a pay period. So times two. Assuming that we paid minimum wage, which again, we do not. That would be $125,000 per pay period.
Not including all other expenses.
Not including all other expenses. Not including the fact that we, in fact, do not pay anyone here minimum wage. Not including the fact that you should have more than one freaking pay period in your bank account at a time.
Yeah.
So in the event that our company, say, were to experience an event like this, where right now, anyone with their deposits in SVB, if they didn't get them out already, and even if they did get them out, if they withdrew money via a wire, like they sent out a wire, there is no guarantee. Now that the bank has, my understanding is it's simply been seized by the federal government or something like that.
I don't know.
So sorry for any little details here, but effectively its assets are under control by a third party now. If that money simply does not come out, it's gone. Now, there is so if that were to happen here, we would just be out. Whatever was in that float account. And
at least temporarily, when you have bills to pay and salaries to fulfill.
Exactly, because if you factor in that this is a bank that specializes in startups, where they are theoretically putting their VC-raised money that they are running off of. These are
highly operational funds.
Yeah, this is wild. This could be even a profitable company. Okay, we are a profitable company. But if you took our operating capital and just, even if you didn't eliminate it, if you froze it indefinitely, how do we run?
Yeah.
How do I pay for whatever services you're logged in? Float plane. How do I pay the bill? How do I pay you? How do I pay that guy? right? Look how sad he would be if he didn't get any money. This is wild. And you know what? It's one of those things where it's something that Yvonne and I have actually talked about. In Canada, the banking industry is fairly well regulated, pretty solid.
During 2008, we kind of survived, stuff like that.
We were pretty steady up here. But I can tell you guys from my own research that the limit, so we used to bank with a credit union specifically because there was no government imposed limit on how much they could insure. That was the reason we did it. So we could have $1 million or $2 million or $3 million sitting in the bank as our operating funds, or to cover our upcoming deposits or expenses for merch or whatever else it is. We could have that sitting there knowing that in the event that something went catastrophically wrong, it would be covered by insurance and we would get it back. But that actually changed, I think about a year ago.
Oh.
It was in the last year or two. I know that for sure. And so I gotta be honest with you. We are pretty much in the same situation.
But not with
Not-
so if this happened to the bank that you're with.
And so reading about this as a business owner
Terrifying.
is
Absolutely terrifying.
It's petrifying.
Yeah.
I would basically roll into the office and just I'd just sit there. What can I do? How do you run a business with no capital? And now it is possible that a sale of SVB and its assets and its liabilities, presumably, could be negotiated. But I pretty much promise you that whatever cash it owes, if you get anything back from it, it's going to be less than 100%. Like they're going to negotiate some reduced payout.
And you don't know which part of the queue you're going to be in regards to people that get their money first. So like
that was a whole thing that happened that we saw with the NCIX bankruptcy, where depending on where you were in the chain of creditors, even if they extracted any money from the shareholders who turned tail and ran away, it was never going to make it
and like
to you.
The lawyers or whatever Holdco is currently dealing with the sale and stuff, they're going to want their cut too.
Yeah, they get paid no matter what, which is really interesting to me.
Yeah. So like there's some funky stuff. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, Top Gear 1224 says, 100% honest, this is why companies use stocks as bank accounts. Not just stocks. So I was recently made aware of something called a land bank.
Land bank, yeah.
So here in Vancouver, where real estate generally does one thing, it goes like this, though not necessarily the case lately, as some of the folks here who have been on the market can attest to, and also I can attest to as someone who bought at the peak. The lab. I get reports from our commercial realtor every once in a while. Prices are going down. It's exciting. I'm sitting here going, yeah, it doesn't help my mortgage, brah. Anyway, where was I? Right. The concept of a land bank is that you just buy land because cash. Okay. This is something that Yvonne and I were talking about recently. The concept of investments being risky. Right? Investments carry an inherent risk. So buying something like the lab, an investment that has gone down, right? An investment carries risk. And it's like, yes, that's true, but literally every asset class can be seen as an investment on some level.
Yeah.
Like here's something interesting. Did you know that the Canadian dollar has lost 5 cents to the US dollar in the last 3 weeks?
I know that because I saw it on your screen, but
right.
Yeah.
So the mere act of having cash in the bank not invested is an investment. A good one? Well, with inflation being what it is, I would say no, but it is certainly an investment. So this is where the concept of a land bank was introduced to me, where it was kind of like, well, here's the thing. You actually can't trust cash. Gold kind of sucks these days. What, crypto? I mean, sure, if you like riding the roller coaster, baby. So that's why a lot of wealthy people just put their assets into land because, and this is the way the person explaining it to me explained it. They were like, well, here's the thing about land. They're not making more of it. I mean, Dubai would have something to say about that, I suppose. But in general,
Most places are.
yeah, in general, they're not making more of it, right? And so coming back to sort of the reason for having this conversation, we're already looking around the lab going, holy crap, we're going to run out of space in this place. And I had wanted to explore the idea of, I don't know, renting the unit next door, or in the long term, you know, because my understanding is there's a long-term tenant there now. So I'm kind of sitting here going, okay, maybe if we could scrape together a down payment between now and when that lease expires, maybe we could acquire that. And I was informed that the owner is using it as a land bank and is therefore utterly uninterested in selling it because they aren't looking to profit. They're looking for a safe haven for their money.
Yeah.
And based on this SVB news, that's not crazy.
Yeah.
That's just sound financial planning, apparently, when you just like have $10 million that you don't want to just disappear because there was a bank run. Anywho, sorry, I went off on a bit of a tangent there, but this is mind-blowing.
This also is going to be quite the developing story over the last little while. I just Googled companies with cash stuck in SVB because we've had a bunch of people mention Roku, right? So we haven't said it on this part of the show yet, but Roku has 26% of its cash stuck in SVB, which as far as my understanding goes right now is $487 million.
I don't know what's more surprising, the fact that they have $487 million stuck in SVB, or the fact that they have almost $2 billion in cash.
Yeah,
Roku, really?
Yeah, crazy.
Go figure. Roku be balling.
They're doing good,
like,
apparently.
in cash.
Yeah.
Dang. How many people does even work at Roku?
Whoa, we'll see moving forward. Yeah, I don't want to joke about that, but Googling this, the top stories thing on Google, there's a post from 2 hours ago, there's a post from 1 hour ago, and there's a post from 10 minutes ago. This is very, very much a currently developing story. There is some cool stuff. There's some white knights already showing up, even though it's been like literally hours. Like Vercel, Linear, some other companies. I know this because I'm just creeping Theo T3's Twitter. But these companies are stepping up and saying, like, if you are a customer of ours and you're impacted by this, like, reach out. We might be able to help you. I don't know who you're calling. There's even like some of them are talking about, okay, we can suspend or delay payments while you figure out your accounting. Like some companies are being very cool about it. But yeah, this is gonna be quite yikes for a while. I don't know what I want to get into.
Hey, your money's not in SVB, is it?
Oh, I know who this is.
SVB, Silicon Valley Bank. It's Linus. No, I just mean like you guys don't keep your money there, right? Silicon Valley Bank. Okay, just checking. You're with Chase. Cool. Oh yeah, SVB experienced a bank run. They're like gone, essentially. Yeah, I guess you haven't been on the internet in the last few hours. Anyway, I'm live on WAN Show. I gotta go. All right, later. Okay, bye. Cool.
Is this that?
This is the NAS.
Yeah, I thought so.
This is the NAS software company that I literally wrote a check to like a month ago.
What about Framework?
I don't know. And if I did know, I wouldn't be able to say anything, but this is the one that I was most worried about because these guys are very much in like stealth mode right now.
Yeah.
They have Framework has cash flow. They're selling laptops.
That helps a lot.
That
you can refill the coffers.
That helps a lot.
Yeah.
See, okay, actually, you know what? It occurs to me that Linus Media Group would probably be okay because we could borrow from Creator Warehouse, where we have consistent cash coming in. Linus Media Group, I mean, think about it. Many of our customers are probably impacted.
Yep.
So, oh crap.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, I gotta talk to accounting. Oh, balls. Anyway, the point is, Creator Warehouse. Oh.
Sorry, that was quite the thing to witness.
Does any other company need a WAN show producer? I mean, producer?
Dan, how dare you apply for another job live on this show? He's not very professional. I'm not giving him a good reference.
Yeah, just make sure you send me the link to your job posting so that I can find out how to apply.
Holy shit.
That's a good reference, by the way.
Any Anywho, yeah, we would be okay because we have money coming in regularly. Yeah, not in like large, not in large chunks from like corporate partners, but it piecemeal from individual customers. That would mean that Creator Warehouse could lend us money to operate, and we would probably stay. We'd probably be fine. So that was my point, was that if you have regular income, probably you can ride this out a lot more easily. But if, like this NAS software that I have no idea if I'm going to get anything back from this. They're creating a product that I really want to exist. It's like a simpler, user-friendly, and yet still powerful NAS solution for DIY and enthusiasts. And they are completely in like noses pressed against the screens, or getting it going mode.
Clearly.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know, 7 o'clock where he is right now. And
he hasn't received like the biggest tech news in startups in a long time.
Yeah.
So he's clearly focused. I have a question for
That's
you.
good.
Yeah. I have a question for you.
oh,
As you're out of pain. If you are, so you've invested in that company, you've invested in Framework.
Yes.
I wouldn't really call you an investor because you invest right now in things that you just like want to exist.
I would describe myself as like an activist investor.
Yeah.
I went in both cases. Oh, how do I say this without it coming across the wrong way?
Not expecting a return.
Yeah. I went in both. If there's a return, I'm gonna be like, cool. But like we talked about last week, the reality of it is, if I really wanted more money, my biggest investment is Linus Media Group Inc., Creator Warehouse Inc., and Floatplane Inc. If I wanted to have like truly you money, that would be the way to do it.
Yeah.
I kind of danced around it last week, but it was a 9-figure offer, okay, for the whole shebang.
I guess you technically danced
Some people
around it.
misunderstood, which
Whoa.
is remarkable.
All right.
Anyway, the point is, it was a 9-figure offer. If I wanted money, I could get money. The biggest reason I didn't take the money is that at the end of the day, I don't aspire to a yacht lifestyle.
You'd be so bored. Yeah, you would actually hate that trip. I think I guarantee I've received photos from him when he's on vacation, like standing on the beach with like the "I am so bored" here face. He's not gonna be entertained by a yacht.
I wouldn't even bother renting a yacht. I don't even need to know.
Even if it was free, he'd probably be like, "I'd rather not."
I already know I don't need it.
Yeah.
So anyway, the point is that a big part of the reason that I didn't take it is that my life would not be materially changed by having a giant dragon horde, which is obviously a super privileged position, but it also means that I get to just do stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I get to just say, hey, that's something I really want to exist. I know you guys are super cool, and even if I never get anything out of it, this is great. I will be the most hands-off investor that you have ever had. Like it's really funny because even internally, people will want to know like what's going on with Framework and stuff because it's like interesting technology, and I'm like,
stuff.
yeah, I don't know.
Okay,
I read about it in the tech news, same as you.
Here's the actual question though.
Yes. Okay.
If that wasn't your method of investing,
Yeah.
if you were investing for profit,
Yeah. I mean, to be
And-
clear, I don't mind profit.
yeah.
Like,
But if this was what you did, if you were a VC,
like I'm an investor.
Yes.
Like that's what I do.
yeah.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I'm putting you in this position. If this happened to one of the companies that you invested in, and they're screwed,
Do you put in more?
yeah.
I mean, it depends if I even have it. What if I bank
Let's
fucking... Oh, sorry, I missed the beat, but what if I bank there?
Let's assume in this situation that you have the cash.
Okay, I bank at Bank of America. That's the only
Because-
bank in America I can
because-
think of. I bank at HSBC. I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, whatever.
Because in this situation, you like
Sorry, I'm a little flustered right now.
Yeah. Reinvesting. Let's say you reinvest the same amount. Reinvesting means you just doubled the investment,
Yeah.
so you're not getting your return.
Yeah,
right?
you haven't, and like I would imagine the paperwork of putting that investment into it means you've probably increased their valuation or whatever. Like I don't think you can just say, oh, I need to replace the money that disappeared, because
So it gets weird.
you already have the shares that presumably you were issued based on that initial investment. The fact that they picked it away in a bank, or whether they picked it away
Wasn't
or
really
lost
them,
it,
yeah.
or lost it or whatever. Like the vehicle by which they lost the money because they bought, I don't know, the 300 Herman Miller chairs or whatever. Like it doesn't matter how they lost it.
Yeah.
It's gone. That doesn't mean
Well,
you didn't
no.
get your shares. You've got your shares. So if you give them more money, well, I think they would have to dilute. They would have to issue more shares, or you would have to find some justification for the valuation to be higher or something, or some combination of the two, right? Like you can't have something for nothing. So it would be f***ed.
Yeah. Because I'm wondering what's going to happen to certain companies right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's this brutal cycle that we just went through, right? And there's been a bunch of news articles about this. Earlier this week, literally, I was reading one of them. There's been this cycle that has happened where a bunch of very good tech employees were laid off recently, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of these hard hitter, big time tech employees spun up startups in the last month or two. And a lot of these startups are looking really good, actually. But if they're banking here, they might have just lost all of their VC money that they just raised like that.
So people are talking low interest loans is something you could do. I can tell you from researching it, you can't just issue a 1% interest loan, even if you're just super duper definitely best friends.
The government's going to be like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. This looks like a gift.
Oh man, there's people on Reddit apparently. This is in Floatplane chat. People on Reddit posting about how their payroll companies went through SVB, so they weren't getting paychecks.
Oh.
Like the fact that this is the bank of the cradle of, modern internet technology, it means that we can't even predict all the things that are going to go wrong because of this.
Because one of the weird things is, like I said, I Googled companies with cash stuck in SVB, right? And the main thing that shows up is Roku. I suspect over the next few days, week, month, we're going to hear about a lot more companies that had their stuff stuck, right?
Wow. Okay.
So it sounds like the assets of SVB were specifically seized by the FDIC, by the way.
Okay.
So government's got it.
Okay. Well, good luck, everybody. Oh, do not
really, really, really brutal.
Yeah.
The ramifications of this, not only is the main news cycle going to take quite a while to actually pick up the impact of this, but the ramifications of this are going to go on for an extremely long time. Silicon Valley Bank has been around for a while, and they've been a big deal in startups for a while. This is going to be a massive, massive change in how people do business, because it's been a default for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, you got VC money? Time to go to Silicon Valley Bank. This is what you do.
Got people saying the government is the reason for this. It is not that simple. A bank run doesn't just happen because the government.
I don't know. I don't know a lot of those types.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I don't know how much of this is true, but Floatplane chat is just exploding right now with apparently insiders at SVB selling shares in the weeks leading up to this. I mean, obviously they wouldn't figure this out at the last second that they didn't have cash reserves to cover their withdrawals, right? So, man, apparently Roblox has money in SVB. I don't even feel bad for them though. No offense.
They're rolling in it. I'm sure they'll be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll figure it out. Wow. All right. Okay. Well, neat. Good luck, everybody. What do you want to talk about next, Mr. Luke?
Should we talk about that? I think that's funny. The pouch?
Sure. Last week, we announced this. it's a pouch that holds technology, but we were informed that that name that we announced for it is in fact trademarked. How anyone managed to trademark a descriptive name is baffling to me, because when we went through the process of trademarking the name of our joystick covers, which will go on sale at some point, they're little silicone covers that
Is
go
that
on
the
your
thing
joysticks
that was in the bag
for
last
travel. Oh, were they? No, different one.
Okay.
No, they're not for grip when you're gaming. They're for travel.
Oh, so they're like protection so you don't get drift and stuff.
We hope.
Yeah.
We don't guarantee anything.
No.
So we're
that
not.
would be a bad idea.
We're not making any claims about anything, but they go over your joysticks and they lock them in place when it's sitting in a bag
Cool.
or in storage or
Tight end. Oh no.
when you're traveling or whatever else. So anyway, when we were going through the trademark process for that, we wanted to call them stick locks, and we wanted to trademark that. And we were basically told, yeah, you can't really trademark a name that is simply descriptive of the function of the product. So how anyone managed to trademark Tech Pouch is sort of baffling to me. It's cool to me that the owner of the Tech Pouch trademark apparently considers us an important enough rival
Hey.
to bother to send a cease
Let's
and
go.
desist to.
Yeah.
But anywho,
We need a new name.
the point is we need a new name.
And we need a new name so that we can relaunch the page. Because
Yeah.
if you notice, it was taken off the site.
Yeah, so it holds tech. I mean, it can hold anything. We have a couple of ideas.
Have
do you
sandwiches?
Want? Do you want to? I mean, I wouldn't recommend putting a sandwich in it.
It could,
It's-
though.
Yeah, but these are fabric materials. They're fairly absorbent. If your sandwich gets a little leaky, get like some mayo in there. I don't know if it would be great.
That'd be not great.
Yeah, you don't need like sandwich mayo in this thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is that we've got a
Oh, you
couple
want
of
a
names.
poll,
Yeah, do
right.
you want to create a poll?
Yeah, yeah.
Idea number one. Where does this go? Yes, idea number one, gamer pouch. Once again, I think that would be pretty difficult to trademark, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't be an issue. But my problem with that is it sounds an awful lot like, you know.
Ah, yes. Yeah. Gamer
Okay.
Pouch.
Other idea, mini tech sack. That has its own innuendo problems.
Tainan said tech bag of holding.
We also call the
big area in the backpack.
yeah, we call that like the compartment of holding. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Bag of tech. Yeah, that's pretty funny. Linus's tech sack. Okay, I appreciate the suggestions, Floatplane chat. I don't know that we're going to go with any of those. Gadget bag, nerd bag, the pouch, tech tips pouch.
Yeah, you also don't. Yeah, like you could take the mini off. It could just be tech sack.
Yeah, it could be tech sack. You want to throw tech
That's
sack
what
in there?
I said tech sack in the.
How about tech tips
mini.
pouch?
Tech tips pouch?
Yeah. It's not
Tips-
tech pouch, it's tech tips. Tech
pouch.
tips pouch.
All right.
LOM says tech sack is fine. I kind of like tech sack. Yeah, tech sack's not bad.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty good. We could call it LTT pouch. Yeah, that's actually not bad. I could throw LTT pouch in there.
LTD pouch. Got
You
it.
should probably
I feel like we're gonna have to do like a we pick the highest two and then revote.
You should throw Pouchy McPouchface in there just
Sure.
to make sure that we've got the internet culture
Would we
represented.
actually launch that?
I will commit to whatever the audience
God.
ultimately votes for. I can actually feel Nick's cringe from here.
The energy is strong.
At least temporarily. We will.
Jane said NCIX pouch. I think we actually couldn't do that.
No, we couldn't do that. That
Yeah.
would definitely be an actual trademark issue.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's go with what
All
we've
right.
got. Let's launch the poll.
That is 6 options.
Okay, hit it. All right. Oh man, I need to see.
Who
I need to see
immediately
these
takes
results.
off? Pouchy McPouchface with almost 100% of the vote. Why did you agree to that? Okay, more serious votes are starting to come in. Pouchy McPouchface held 90% for like 30 seconds. And
Tech
has now
Sack looks
fallen.
like it's going to come away with it. We will do a playoff between the top two, and we'll see how it comes out.
Tech Sack is cruising.
Yeah, Tech Sack is making up a lot of ground here. Why don't we change gears a little bit here? And oh man, look, we've got so much stuff to talk about this week. We've got a secret shopper update. Dell.
Yeah, but we don't normally do our own stuff in the first 4 announcements.
No, this is Dell. Dell reached out to me out of nowhere, being like, "Hey, we have no idea if you have a secret shopper planned or anything like that, but we're ready." So I figured we'd talk about that. But first, why don't we do an update on the whole Tarkov situation?
Okay, yeah.
Chat's asking about, like, what happened to Goat? Like, it got rootkitted or something? What? Like, his system's down? People been arrested in China? What is happening?
Literally not one time that we've talked about Goat or his videos on Wancho have I expected we were going to talk about Goat or his videos on Wancho. So I am yet again apologizing to Goat, because I wasn't prepared for this. But he has released his 3rd video on the topic now. It started with the wiggle that killed Tarkov, which is currently sitting at 2.2 million views.
Wow.
But his most recent video is I Was Attacked. And he talks about some of what happened in the aftermath. One of the things that he points out is that he was told by a number of people, including me, that he should have wiped his drive after all that happened. And he did not. And one of the things that he tried to do...
Why don't you explain why?
Well, he installed their software on his local system, right?
We got to get people up to speed.
Okay. So what happened was Goat, or also known as Goatmoth, a creator in the Tarkov space, Escape from Tarkov, a video game that I and a number of other people play. Are we good? Okay. He made a video called The Wiggle That Killed Tarkov, which was an investigative journalism piece.
Really good.
It was fantastic, on cheating in Tarkov and
The
how
pervasiveness.
and how much worse it is than most people realize because of the type of cheats that people use. A lot of people, when they're thinking about cheating in first-person shooter games, the main thing they think about is aim. Another thing that people think about is wall hacks, stuff like that. But usually you think about the obvious forms of cheating.
Yes.
And in Tarkov, it's not necessarily the obvious forms that are the most pervasive. It's the things that aren't very obvious unless you are also cheating. So he had to cheat in order to reveal this issue. He then followed up talking about how his account that he cheated on did get banned, but he knew that was coming. He didn't hide like his raid IDs or anything, so it was very easy for them to detect. And lots of things have happened in the aftermath. We covered some of this, I believe, in last show. But
anyway,
even more
after the video, you advised him to completely wipe his drive, fresh install, and the reason for that was because in order to expose the cheaters, Goat installed the same cheat software that they were using, which, I mean, I don't want to generalize, but if I was gonna generalize, I would say that if you're a developer of cheating software for video games, you're probably not the most
it's very likely
savory
if you download cheats for a game
character
that you are also downloading things that you probably don't want on your system. Whether that is...
And it's probably, well, I'm saying if you develop cheats for games, you are probably selling software.
Your morals might be a little questionable.
That people shouldn't have on their system.
Yeah. So it's quite common to have like Bitcoin miners, or not necessarily Bitcoin, but coin miners installed on your system that are going to run in the background that you don't know about.
Stuff like that.
It's also very possible that, like in this particular situation, they install a rootkit on your system that they can like do basically whatever they want with. And he went to try to get some. In his original video, he talked about how he didn't want to interview the cheat developers. For this video, he has interviews with some anti-cheat developers, and he wanted some voice clips from cheat developers. And he thought you should watch the video. Don't get everything from the Wan Show.
For real.
Yeah, it's actually like I'm not going to. It's a 16-minute video. And
No,
it's
I just
packed.
mean in general.
Yeah. Also that. But he wanted like a voice clip from the people that developed the cheat that he used in particular, because he brought up it had gone undetected for 3 years. So he wants to hear them like being really cocky about it, basically.
Sure.
He reconnected to their Discord. They now have some form of verification. and they figured out that it was a new user from the same. I don't know if I don't remember all the details. You should watch the video. But they
Yeah.
figured out that it was him essentially,
Yeah.
and then just like nuked his drives.
Wow.
Couldn't boot anymore. Couldn't even find the drives when like looking through BIOS or anything. He thinks they killed like the drivers on his NVMe drives.
Killed the drivers. What
I
does
don't
that
know
even mean?
necessarily. Yeah, I haven't looked into it enough. I there's a few ways that could happen.
Sure.
Without having access to stuff, I have no idea. I'm not good enough to make enough assumptions to know.
Wild.
The controller, yeah. If they're NVMe drives, they're like, it's not a hard drive, so you can fry those in a variety of ways.
Right.
To be honest, in hard drives, there's other bad ways you can do it. And I have since told him, like, yeah, it could also be in your BIOS at
Yep.
this point.
Yeah, so that's a whole thing that also came out this week, that there's crap, I forget the details, but basically there's the first instance of it's been theorized
Firmware? Yeah,
for
it
a
could be-
while,
yeah.
but there's the first instance of like a firmware based malware that can survive a complete system reformat, because it can fool all the like trusted oh man, yeah, secure boot. It
Yeah.
can fool secure boot and like all the trust elements in that chain that protect the pre-operating system loading, actually even pre-UEFI loading environments. So that's a whole thing, man. Like seriously, malware that can survive a complete system format and then just go and reinstall itself.
I
Now-
mean, we've had stuff that can hide in BIOS for a while. Thing that you're talking about is different.
This is pre-BIOS though.
yeah.
Yeah, which is like bad.
Oh yeah, that's super bad.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
Anywho, in order to install something like that, they would need admin authorization on your computer. But the thing is, when you run an executable,
Yeah.
guess what that is?
Yeah. So that was kind of rough, but I mean, Ghost's doing okay. He got a 2.2 million view video. He's probably doing all right now.
Yeah.
He can probably replace
Buy a
some
new NVMe
replace
drive.
some drives. Yeah. So he pitched those drives. Hopefully that's the extent of what needs to happen there. But there's also some other crazy news that happened that he reported on in that video, and you should watch it because he has some interviews with the devs of a game that I don't remember off the top of my head right now. We don't have notes for this. I didn't know we were going to talk about it today. And the interviews are very interesting, and they talk about how they have their game was like overrun with cheaters, and they talked about what they did in order to fix it. And now there's like public community posts by users, like players of the game, talking about like, yeah, it's a completely different world. I don't run into any anymore.
Wow, that's cool.
And their whole approach makes a ton of sense, and we've talked about it on WAN Show, where they just have a bunch of systems in place. And he talks about it, they call it like the Swiss cheese approach or something, because like each system is going to have some holes, but you just have enough of them that eventually you're not going to be able
Nothing
to make it
can
all
pass
the way
all the
through.
way through,
Yeah,
right.
and maybe some can, but like they've gotten it to a point where it's so low.
I mean,
that the
we've
community's
talked
quite
before
happy
about how there are cheats that are literally a robot arm
Yes.
playing the game that
You're
no
not gonna
anti-cheat could
fully
detect.
stop it.
But that's not fun.
Yes. Yeah.
Very few people are going to set up a 3D printer to move the mouse around for them to play the game. Like, that's not...
You just get to observe. Maybe some RMTers will and stuff, but like you're really
Yes.
massively reducing the impact.
Yes.
But like, yeah. So
most
you should
cheaters
watch
wanna,
it. Those interviews.
Most
are really
cheaters
cool.
want to press the button and feel like a Chad because they,
Yeah.
you know,
I'm sick of this game.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like for most cheaters, that's not going to be that appealing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's all super interesting. But one of the things that he talks about in the video, and again, I don't have notes, so I'm hoping I'm going to remember this well, but that cheat that he used, there's stuff on their Discord. Oh, man, I wish I could bring this up right now. There's stuff on their Discord talking about how the service is offline and no one can use it right now because it has to call to a service all the time, and their servers are like gone. And there's people reporting that we don't know who necessarily, but some amount of arrests were made.
Arrests.
Like people were put in jail and their servers were seized. This is a cheat developer based in China.
Now,
we have no
hold on a
idea
second.
who did this. We don't know if it was BSG. We don't know if the investigation was already running from someone else.
I know
No
that
idea.
I know that developing game cheats is illegal in I think South Korea,
I think also using them is illegal in South Korea.
but I wasn't aware of any legislation like that in China.
Me neither. I do know that there is a culture of Chinese players cheating outside of China. So I do wonder if maybe there is something, and that's why they go to like North American or European servers, is because they might get caught if they go on local servers.
I have no
I have
idea.
no clue. Just a random theory.
Wow. So
Very interesting.
like the
Massive
last
developments.
story we were talking about, this is very much a developing story right
Yeah.
now, and I cannot believe. I mean,
The level of impact.
when we first talked about this, I went, "Wow, that's really cool. That game," right? Like I love this kind of expose, investigative journalism.
Yeah, and he's
type
done a
of
great
content.
job,
Yeah, like good job, kudos, and all of that, right? I didn't expect the explosion on their community last week. I didn't expect that we're going to be looking at people getting literally arrested over the development of this
I didn't see
cheating
that coming up.
software.
Dude, when I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like quit for a while because the situation is so bad, I didn't expect things would happen. I still haven't played yet, but like I didn't expect things would happen this fast that are like, oh, the like main cheat in the whole game just got deleted from the internet. Like that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, BBC.com. Police bust world's biggest video game cheat operation. Several luxury sports cars were among assets seized. Oh, for crying out loud.
Okay, this is awesome.
Were among assets seized in the raid. Nice cars. Chinese police and gaming giant Tencent has
They
led to
they probably go faster than like all the other cars on the track because they like.
because they what? They cheated? Oh my god. $76 million in revenue. They seized assets. worth
76
$46
million in rev.
How many people are buying this stuff? Subscription prices for users began at about $10 a day.
I don't know 100% know if this is the
Hold
same.
on, is this the same one? When is
I
this
don't
from?
know. I don't know.
This is from March 30th. 2 years ago. Never mind, this is old.
This is yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause
well,
it
okay.
said,
I
like-
think they posted this to show that yes, it is very much a thing.
It is a thing. Okay, yeah. Fair
Okay.
enough. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, thank you for that.
Wow. There's a bunch of people posting in Flowplane chat. Wanny pack.
Andrew Tate was running a cheating operation. Got him.
It's not a fanny pack though.
Yeah, it's not a fanny pack. If we were to ever do a fanny pack, I give you my personal Linus Tech Tips guarantee. We will call it the Wanny Pack. I promise. As long as it has like a WAN.
It would
sort
have
of
to be
themed,
WAN
Yeah,
themed,
color
yeah.
scheme. But yes, we will do it. We'll do it. Okay, we should remake the poll. It's Tech Sack versus Pouchy McPouchface.
Okay.
Guys, come on. Actually, Linus Tech Tote had a lot of people asking for it as well. Should we just do another round and then do one more after?
I think
So
it's got to come down to two.
Yeah, we'll put these two more options in. So
Yeah.
let's put in the two new options. So Linus Tech Tote and, or no, that's the only one. And then Tech Sack and Pouchy McPouchface. Okay, yeah.
Tote is just TOTE, right?
Yeah. Oh man, the LTT bag. That's pretty funny actually. Throw in the LTT bag.
Okay.
So just LTT bag, but it's funny if you say it out loud because testicles.
I didn't get it actually until you said it's funny if you say it out loud, and then I got it. I don't know why. but- because testicles. Jeez. God.
All right. Why don't we change gears and is there any good news this week? Ring is giving police invasive user footage. I mean, we're not just talking like, porch pirates need a reckoning and you got to like catch these guys. We're talking last year. Ring announced that at the end of this month, it will require new and existing users to buy a subscription for basic security features that used to be included with the purchase of the camera, including using the Ring app to arm and disarm security, receiving notifications when an alarm triggers, or customizing the camera to record during an alarm. It was allowing police access to users' cameras without a warrant or the owner's consent because the police claimed it was an emergency. Ring has also been repeatedly criticized for providing users footage to police, even when it has no legal obligation to do so. Ring claims that they carefully review all requests from law enforcement and ask for revising warrants when the demands are inappropriate or overly broad. But last year, Michael Larkin, a Ring user in Ohio with 21 cameras around his home and business, was asked by police to provide footage from his outside-facing cameras to aid in an ongoing investigation into a neighbor. He voluntarily gave them the footage from the time period they requested. The police then asked for all the footage from the day in question, which he declined. The cameras record in short bursts whenever there's movement, and it would have taken a long time to download and send each file. The police then sent a warrant to Ring requesting all of the footage from all of his cameras, which Ring gave them, including footage from the 3 cameras inside his house and the 13 cameras at his business, which is at a completely separate location. One of the cameras inside the home is located in his bedroom.
Okay.
What the f***? Am I the crazy person here?
There's a discussion question that said, should consumers ever trust a large company have access to their footage at this point? No. Closed circuit, man.
Larkin only found out about this when Ring sent him a notification that police had been given his footage. They didn't request or otherwise push back on the warrant or anything like that. They're just like, yep, here's footage from this guy's bedroom. Hopefully you like watching videos of him banging.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, right?
Yeah. No, it absolutely is. I don't know. We've talked about this concept for a long time. We've warned people about like doorbell stuff, like Ring doorbells for a long time. This is why.
Yeah, we did a couple sponsor spots with Ring way back in the day. I think that was like pre-Amazon acquisition.
Oh,
and I forget when it happened, but there was like a fairly early incident where they were just handing over footage, and we basically said, look, you guys need to change this policy or we're not going to work with you anymore. Well,
yeah,
we don't work with Ring anymore.
Yeah, there are solutions for this. They're not quite as easy and they're not quite as cheap.
Yeah.
But there are solutions for this, for doing it yourself. And unfortunately, that's the way it's got to be, in my opinion. Especially if you have the cameras inside your house, man. Like
in the bedroom.
yeah.
I do have... Okay, I was about to be all judgy and say, well, why would you have a camera in your bedroom in the first place? That's stupid or something like that. But, I mean, okay, I don't know. Maybe they have pets. And maybe their pets like to hang out in the bedroom and they, like to keep an eye on them for whatever reason. Like they could have health problems or... You don't know, right? You never know what someone's situation is.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a very good reason that they have... Conrad... What the heck, man? I personally use Yoooo cameras in my bathroom. This is one of our developers. Surely you must know better.
He's kidding. He's 100% kidding.
Yeah, okay. Okay, it's time for our last poll. We do need this name. We need to get this thing relaunched on the store. The results...
Okay, is it our last poll?
Yeah, this is our last one.
Because...
Oh, what now?
The tote at 16% of the vote could individually decide any of the 3 remaining. So should we do one more with the 3?
No, just 2.
Just
We're going
2.
down to the top. Oh, I see.
Yeah, because there's a
Texac and
1%
LTT
difference and 16% of the votes are on tote. So it will like actually completely change which one ends up in the finals.
Okay, Linus Tech Tote is out. New poll, it's Texac at 26% of the vote versus LTT Bag at 24% versus Pouchy McPouchface at 35%.
Are we picking just the winner of that, or are we doing another final round? Because here's a question: we could leave out Pouch is clearly going to be in the final, so we could do a poll just against Texac and LTT Bag.
No, let's leave Pouchy McPouchface in.
Okay.
Yeah, I can just yeah. Let's leave the 3 options in. We'll leave the 3 options in.
Is this the final poll?
let's make this the final countdown.
Okay.
Do-do-do-do.
So, because there's the concern here because the non-pouches are split.
I see. Okay.
I think if you end it
Fine.
with multiple
Fine.
non-pouch options, it guarantees a pouch win.
Fine, Luke. We will do the 3-way vote, and then we will do a 2-way final. It's
Okay.
going to last the whole show, which is really impressive because WAN show's like 4 hours now. It's ridiculous. Why is WAN show 4 hours? We've got to fix this. Okay, that's it. WAN show's done. Bye. No, I'm kidding.
Nope.
I'm kidding. I'm not done. There's so much more to talk about this week.
Yep.
How were you not able to find topics to... Oh, this is great. Okay. I guess we're going to talk about more LTT store stuff because this is super exciting.
That's why I couldn't find topics. What we've been talking about other than Ring, which I didn't want to talk about because I hate that. I mean, it's fair to talk about on the show, but we've been saying for so many years not to do it because of this reason that just happened. So it's just like, it's good to talk about. It's just frustrating.
Actually, you know what? Let's get the sponsors out of the way, and then we will get to
cool.
the next thing.
I'm
All
actually
right.
very excited for the sponsors.
You're
Yeah.
excited for the sponsors.
I am.
Since when are you excited for sponsors, Mr.
there's-
Privateer?
Because there's a Dennis integration.
Oh no. Wait, what is
It's
this?
all Dennis integrations?
What is this? Dan's
Let's go.
Dan's got a whole bunch. He's got paperwork over there. It's,
So the thing that we're using for WAN Show now, the new software that we're using for WAN Show, stores all of the sources in like VRAM.
I see.
So it's like really quick and stable and stuff.
uh-huh.
It like filled the card with stuff that Dennis made for these ad spots. The VRAM is like it's like
7 gigs of
7 gigs of VRAM.
I have 78 sources. Anyway, you want to do your sponsor reads? I've been practicing all day. They're worth it.
Okay. Today's show is brought to you by FreshBooks. If your math is as bad as mine, you will need FreshBooks. Linus, I know you're not that good with math. Thanks, Dennis. FreshBooks is an easy-to-use accounting software that makes it simple to send invoices and collect your cash. FreshBooks was created specifically for business owners and accounting professionals, so it hits that sweet spot between usable and useful. Plus, it keeps your income and expenses organized, which is super helpful during the tax season. It has everything you need to manage your books, like invoicing, expense and time tracking, automated payments, and reports to tell you how healthy your business is. If you bank with SVB, not very. Go to freshbooks.com/WAN to save 90% on your first 4 months. Wow, that was very choreographed. So, sorry. So you are over there like manually teeing up this camera and like all these different effects and stuff. You got a whole script and everything? Okay,
Yep.
hold on a second. How many hours today did we dedicate to these WAN show sponsor spots?
30 minutes?
Oh, okay. You said you spent all day practicing.
Yeah. But it only took 30 minutes. No, I'm hyperbole.
Okay. The show is also brought to you by Goliath Technologies. Goliath is a best-in-class end-user experience monitoring and troubleshooting software. It allows you to find the root cause of any IT issue in 3 clicks or less. Wow, that is a bold claim. With Goliath, you can solve even the most complex Citrix or VMware Horizon user interface issues in minutes, and you get a troubleshooting expert out of the box, so even a level 1 service desk can resolve issues without escalating them further. The technology comes with embedded intelligence and automation, so you can be set up and operating in minutes, and all the policies are designed by experts and tell you what to monitor for and how to interpret the data. So if you have Citrix or VMware Horizon and are having performance issues, Goliath can help you. And if you're in healthcare, Goliath comes with industry-only modules for Cerner, Epic, and Meditech. Sign up for a free trial and save 20% using the link in the video description. Man, that is like very fancy. All these like animations and stuff and everything. Although that LTT logo just like hanging out in the middle of the screen looks a little clunky. And 20% off, quote, Linus Tech Tips to avail the discount. Dennis must have wrote this. Must have written.
Is that also off-centered? Can you bring that up again?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can he do that, or is it like
I don't know.
16 different buttons?
I honestly don't.
I have 34 different buttons.
Oh no, it's centered. It's just my angle.
20% off. Quote Linus Tech Tips to avail the discount.
Avail the discount.
He's trying. He's doing a good job. Good job, Dennis.
Maybe needs a proofreader though.
All right. Finally, the show is brought to you by Squarespace. Building your own website may seem... Wow. Thank you, Luke. That's really helpful. May seem daunting, but Squarespace is here to make it easier than figuring out how the self-serve line works at your local grocery store. Squarespace is an easy-to-use platform to start building your online presence right away. They offer customizable themes and templates for your online store, local business, portfolio, and more. They even look great on mobile devices. We use Squarespace for the Linus Media Group website and the LTX 2023 website. Okay, and if you already have a website, Squarespace makes it super simple to port your domain over. Their 24/7 support is always there for you if you encounter a problem, and you can get started on your webpage today by heading over to squarespace.com/WAN for 10% off your first purchase.
That's how you avail your discount.
Well, that's certainly eye-catching. Thank you, Dennis, very much for the helpful additions to our otherwise bland and boring sponsor reads on the show.
We did have some frame rate issues.
Yes, I did notice
next
that.
time that you trial stuff like that, you need to trial it while live encoding.
Yeah. All right, we'll figure it out. Holy crap, this is a close three-way race.
That's why I didn't want to include Pouchy, because I knew Pouchy was going to win this, but then the remaining two are so close.
Tech Sack at 33% of the vote. LTT Bag at 30% of the vote, and Pouchy McPouchface at just 36% of the vote.
Yeah.
So it's Tech Sack versus Pouchy McPouchface.
Right.
Let's go. Let's go. Last poll. Excuse me. Last poll. Hey, we should do a couple of merch messages for those of you who are new to the WAN show, which seems to be a lot of you today. We've got 21,000 live viewers over on YouTube. We've got... Twitch is slow. One moment, please. My dashboard is loading. Holy crap, this is really slow. 5,600 over on Twitch, and I have no idea how many are watching on Floatplane because we still don't have a dang view counter.
Get owned.
You get owned. Own yourself. Anyway, so yeah, we've got a lot of new people watching. The way to interact with the show is not through super chats. I almost said merch messages. Not through super chats, not through Twitch bits. It's merch messages. And what makes them superior to super chats and Twitch bits is that while just like those methods, you can absolutely throw your money at the screen for no reason other than hoping for acknowledgement from people that you only know through a little screen in front of you. Not only that, but in case we don't get to your message, or just even if we do, instead of just like lining Google or Amazon's pockets, you will get merchandise in the mail, water bottles, desk pads, whatever we're gonna call this thing that holds tech stuff and is a pouch. Oh man, we've got a new product to announce today that I'm so excited about. We'll talk about that later.
Do we have multiple?
No, just one.
Oh, okay.
The point is that if you send a merch message, just go to lttstore.com, and in the checkout, you can send a merch message. It'll either pop up down there. Dan might reply to you. We might reply to your message live on the show. And even if none of that happens, you will definitely still get your order in the mail, and we make lots of really, really good stuff. So head over to lttstore.com. All right, do you want to hit us with a couple of merch messages, Dan, before we move on?
Sure. The first one I have here is from Michael. Speaking of building moats last week,
Yes.
do you think that there's still space on Tech YouTube for new channels to even come close as big as popular as you guys or others like MKBHD?
I would have said no, and then Mr. Who's the Boss
I
broke
was
out
actually
big.
literally going to say yes specifically because of him.
Yeah,
I think he proved it to me that it's possible. It's hard.
it's not easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's a funny thing because as the platform has matured and as the tools to create video have become more and more accessible, like man, the production values you can get for $1,000 today are better than what you could do for probably 10,000 back when we started. Honestly, like really, particularly in spaces like lighting. Lighting has gotten cheap. It's incredible what
It
you
was
can do
brutal at the beginning.
with cheap lighting these
Yeah.
days. Like you can get high CRI bulbs at Home Depot now. You know, that's the kind of thing that just didn't exist 10 years ago, right? But what's funny is that as access to the tools and as the strength of the platform overall has gotten better, the competition has also gotten fiercer. So I would say that today it is easier than ever to have a video blow up. Like YouTube algorithmically is so powerful.
Yeah.
But I would say that today it's as hard as ever to build momentum.
Yes.
To build
retain
a large channel, to build
Yeah.
a team. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So it's a tough.
Because you might be able to hit, like, if you have one concept that you've been sitting on for years and you make like one really sick video, you might be able to hit with one video, but continuing that, keeping the roll going, being able to release not only like 1, 2, or 3 more, but being able to release 1, 2, or 300 more is really hard, and you have to be there for the whole time. By the way, the poll is really slowing down in terms of votes that are coming in. We're only getting 1 or 2 trickling in at a time, and I think we have a winner.
It looks like it's going to be Texac
By 4%
by
of the vote.
4%. Wow, that was very close.
Yeah.
I-
We
I'm-
can leave it running, but like I don't
Yeah, we can let it run a little longer.
yeah. I don't think it's going to change much at this point.
What were we talking about again? Right. Yeah. Could you break out? So yeah, I would have said no until
I think we have said no in the past, actually.
Yeah, I think because I will tell you that initially I thought the question was, can you still break out in the tech space? And for that, the answer is absolutely yes, because I think the future of the platform is many niche channels.
Yeah.
More than these like I see us kind of like a department store channel. And I think that we've seen a shift culturally away from the one-stop shop, away from the department store into the niche experts. And that's a big part of the reason why we're growing our team. That's why we're building the lab. That's why we're hiring engineers and subject matter experts, so that when it's time for us to really get laser focused on niches, whether they're display or CPU, GPU, or cooling, or whatever it is, we're properly equipped for it. Because I think that a niche that has 100,000 people that are super dialed into it is way, way easier to tackle these days than trying to make broadly appealing tech content to try to hit 1 million or 2 million or 10 million people. Especially when there are so many channels that are doing that broad content so well. Because it's not just us. You have to, you already mentioned MKBHD, right? So you're going up against us. You're going up against Marquez. You're going up against Aaron. You're going up against a Jay's 2 Cents, Austin. You're going up against all these folks.
You just list names for like 20 minutes.
Yeah,
There's so many.
And then if you went on for long enough, you might end up with the creators. We're hoping to have at LTX. Sorry, we will confirm those eventually for you guys. We just need approval from these folks to tell you who's going to be coming. But if you asked me that, I'd say, breaking out in a niche, no problem. But building a mega channel, man, I'm not going to say that I didn't work hard. I'm not going to say you didn't work hard. But we would be just dishonest if we didn't acknowledge that there was a significant degree of right place, right time.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's always kind of funny to me.
Having access to NCX was such a huge...
Even back then, I thought the ship had sailed. And it wasn't that stupid of a thought, right? Like, think back to when the channel started. So what was that? 2009, we uploaded the first NCIX Tech Tips video. So back then, how long did web startup, social platforms exist for? Nothing had lasted as long as 2009 to 14 years. Nothing so I think YouTube started 2006, something like that. So nothing lasted 17, 18 years. So for me to look at it and go, yeah, I'm 4 years late to the party. You know, PC Whiz Kid and Chilla Frilla and Locker Gnome, you know, these folks have all got it on lock, right?
I
Like,
remember all of them.
how could I possibly hope to break into this space?
Yeah.
It wasn't even that stupid a thing for me to think, especially with the importance of subscribers back in that time, right? Once you had that critical mass, well, how else could anyone possibly hope to get on the homepage?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
things that mattered back then. But I ended up being wrong. So I could be wrong again. Maybe the next big all-you-can-eat tech channel is brewing in the mind of someone who's watching this show right now.
There's also other platforms. I'm pretty sure.
희수야. 희수야 그거 아니야. Let's go. 오, 헤이, let's go. 강고양이 씨. 저는 고양이가 아니에요. 우리 강고양이 씨. 미안. 미안. 이거 한 번만 잘 걸리는 거 같아.
Stay in the middle, like you a little. Don't want no riddle. 말해줘, say it back, oh say it did I. 아침이 너무 멀어서 say it did I. 훌쩍 커버렸어, 함께한 기억처럼. 널 보는 내 마음은 어느새 여름 지나갈 기다렸지. 어디서 Do you want somebody like I want somebody? 날 보고 웃었지만 do you think about me now? Yeah, all the time, yeah, all the time. I got no time to lose. 내 길었던 하루 난 보고 싶어. 라따따따 울린 심장. I got nothing to lose. 널 좋아한다고. 라따따따 울린 심장. But I don't want to stay in the middle, like you a little. Don't want no riddle. 말해줘, say it back, oh say it through. 아침은 너무 멀어서 say it through. I don't want to walk in this middle. 다 아는 건 아니어도 바라던 대로. 말해줘, say it back, oh say it through. I want you so say it through. Not just anybody. 너를 상상했지 항상.
They said specifically YouTube, but like
Yep.
I think one of the reasons why we did get a start and why a lot of other creators around that time got a start is people were slowly shifting away from TV at the time.
Absolutely.
Something similar could happen to YouTube. Maybe
Yep.
I don't necessarily. It doesn't really feel like it is TikTok, but maybe there's
No,
something.
especially
that comes
not
around.
if that or that US ban goes through.
Yeah, but like
okay.
something might happen. Who knows?
Yep.
Who knows what's going to happen in the world of apps or other potential websites, and then content types like the tech that we talk about what is going to be out there eventually. We're talking about AR stuff. We're talking about
Yep.
these weird AI integrations. We don't know the direction that either of those things are going to go. And maybe you are a fantastic source for whatever that ends up being, and that can be your niche. Who knows?
Yeah, 100%. The float plane chat is
Rioting.
hilarious right now.
Absolutely right.
Hashtag not my sack. Stop the sack.
Recount. Impouchment.
What are you guys, Florida? Okay, that's an old joke. That's like going back to what's his nuts, like Gore Bush or whatever. Anywho,
Bring me pouchy or bring me death.
oh no. Okay, we're going
You
back.
guys should do. Oh no, I don't think it would be worth the run. But you guys should do a version that has like a smiley face on it, and do like a limited run of Poachy McPoach faces. It's probably not worth it. But
Speaking of run, Mr. Wage posted in Floatplane chat at Silicon Valley Bank, north of 93% of the bank's 161 billion in deposits are apparently uninsured, per a recent regulatory filing. Whoa. Anyway, sorry. Want to hit us with another merch message, Dan?
Yeah, absolutely.
oh,
Oh.
sorry. I'm gonna say what
Oh.
you just said, but I'm gonna say it through the mic. The Tech Sack is apparently
Thank you.
back up on the store under the name Tech Sack. That was fast.
Oh, what?
It's up.
No one has informed me of that. That doesn't seem right.
It is up though. Looking at it right now.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, okay, Nick, it's TechSack. If you're watching, TechSack 1.
No, it's as Tech Sack.
Oh, it's TechSack.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did I not say that?
No, I think
I might have misspoke. I don't know.
no, yeah, you probably didn't.
Okay.
Yeah, all good.
All right.
It's officially TechSack now. So if you want to get my sack in the mail, then you can order it.
Floatplane is not happy.
Yeah, Floatplane's never happy. It's funny because the more people love us, it seems like the more angry they get with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like we love you back, Floatplane, and we're never angry with you. Can I take a moment to just shout out a couple people? First of all, shout out the Floatplane peeps, who happen to be 32,254 strong these days.
Yeah.
And then I'd also like to take a moment to shout out the social team, because they have
Yes.
been absolutely
Yeah, there's a reason.
annihilating their targets for Floatplane exclusive content these days. Not in terms of like the volume. They hit the volume targets, but they are crushing it in terms of the quality of the exclusives that we've been uploading. This one was really good. They were hanging out with the engineers over in Creator Warehouse. Just a casual 99.5% like-dislike
Yeah,
ratio
let's go.
on this test run with our desktop injection molder. It's just really cool to see some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes here that normally wouldn't get any exposure
There's a
being
meet the
appreciated.
Team, there's a meet the team with Yvonne, right?
Yeah, that one actually went up on LMG Clips as a promotion for Floatplane,
that makes
and I
sense.
think it's going to stay up for either hours or a day or two or something like that. But Floatplane is full of meet the teams with, like, I think literally dozens of members
Lots
of the team at
people,
this point.
yeah.
Kyle's is a recent one that has been very, very popular.
This is a sidebar thing because it's not us, but Garbage Time also passed 3,000 subscribers.
Sick.
Let's go.
Let's go. All right, Dan, hit me with another merch message.
Okay, I've got another one here. Hey guys, since more OLED monitors are being made, is there really a point to be getting one for somebody who plays mostly first-person shooters and cranks the shadows up, thus negating one of the points of an OLED?
Wait, how does that
So,
negate?
cranking the shadows up, I can see where you're coming from, right? Like if you lift up the dark parts of the image so that you
thought-
can more easily identify opponents.
I misinterpreted this.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. If all you ever do is play FPS games,
Get a CRT.
well, no, I would still go OLED, because from a gaming perspective, the biggest benefit of OLED is not the contrast or the color accuracy, because like you said, for a competitive edge, many gamers will totally mess with their colors or their contrast or whatever else, gamma curves and all that. But from a pixel like an image persistence standpoint, from a pixel response time standpoint, nothing else modern, like CRTs aside, Nothing else modern even comes close to touching an OLED. So the clarity of the image, particularly during fast movements, like if you're whipping the mouse, is so much higher than an LCD that I would rather have a 240 hertz OLED over a 500 hertz LCD. I say that out of ignorance, though, because we haven't yet been actually hands-on with a 500 hertz LCD. I think we're gonna get to check it out soon, but that's how I feel about it right now. Really, really love OLED gaming, and it's all about that lightning fast pixel response time and image clarity in motion. Hit me with one more, and then we'll get to some more topics here.
The last one.
Right. I'm about to deploy another Stratus FT server for work.
Are you?
They basically
really
run
here? Because I don't know about that.
Oh, sorry, Luke. Okay, merch message. Okay. This is from Anonymous. Anyway, they basically run the CPUs and RAM in RAID 1. What's your favorite fault-tolerant, high-availability equipment?
Oh.
That's a difficult question.
Yeah, man, I gotta say, I was really blown away when I visited IBM and I got to get hands-on with IBM Z. Because on the one hand, I look at a product like IBM Z and I go, there's gotta be a more economical, open source, like, way to do this with off-the-shelf like super micro servers running in a cluster or something. You know, like the geek in me is sitting here going, this seems like yesterday's solution tomorrow. You know what I mean? Are they really engineering an entire CPU for one system for like 6 customers? Like, is this really the best way to do it? You know, like that's kind of my gut feeling. But then you go and you look, kind of like you're talking about, you look at the way that they build, you know, RAID 1 directly into a memory subsystem. Or you look at the way that you can literally just yank mains power out of this thing and it completely doesn't notice. And it's pretty cool. I would say that if you want to see me kind of geek out over fault tolerance, that's the video to go watch, because those things are, what is it, 4 nines they target? Something stupid like that.
I'm not sure off the top of my head, but
I forget how many nines. While I look it up, do you want to explain the concept of nines?
It's like basically when you're looking at something like uptime, if you have 99.9%, well, if you look at an entire year, the 0.1% that's remaining is actually a pretty significant amount of time. So you want to increase your amount of nines, because if you go from 99.9 to 99.99, that's actually a very significant reduction in downtime that you just had. So increasing if you say like 4 nines, that's the amount of nines past the decimal point that you have.
Okay.
So having more nines is more better.
IBM Z reliability. 4 Z15s, their commitment is 7 nines. So on average, 3.2 seconds of downtime per year.
Yeah, see, like that's sick.
That's actually kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's kind of amazing.
And so, it was really cool, not just seeing the hardware and like pulling cords out of it or whatever, but some of what didn't make it into the video, unfortunately, just like talking to the people who work on and who design these systems was very cool, because it's a completely different mindset. Like, you talk about running RAM in RAID 1, right? I think to the average gamer, if I said, hey, you can experience 3 minutes less downtime per year, and all it'll cost you is spending $600 instead of $300 on your memory. They look at you like you're a fucking idiot.
Apparently,
right?
it includes the first 2 nines.
Oh, okay.
I've been referring to that incorrectly for a hot minute. All right, my bad.
At any rate, 7 nines still wild.
Yeah, so that's 5 past a decimal.
Yeah.
Why would you include the first 2? Whatever.
Hold on a second.
If it doesn't start with 99, you're having some problems.
Yeah, apparently it does include the first whatevers. So that is 5 nines past the decimal.
Yeah.
That's still wild. Anyway, the point is, if you told the average gamer, hey, you can spend twice as much on your memory and it'll save you 3 minutes of downtime a year, well, they'd tell you you're an idiot. Like, no, I think I can handle what is that? 2 game crashes over a span of 365 days is probably okay, and I'll save my few $100s. But when 3 minutes of downtime could back up all of your client systems or cause some kind of catastrophic system fail. Okay. Oh, perfect example of this. When the Canadian debit infrastructure went down. You remember that?
Yeah.
Or when our Rogers telecom. Man, I'm making Canada sound like some kind of backwater.
It's just the things we're more aware of.
Yeah. Or when so Rogers Communications had downtime for like a day. And my understanding is in the postmortem to that, it basically came down to like one system, managed by one person, like had something went wrong with it. It's actually kind of amazing how patchwork our systems are. I mean, okay, for an example, not in Canada, okay, you get like one bank that disappears in the States, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, the Silicon Valley startup scene has no money, so that's cool. Right? Like the way that the world is architected for very few points of failure that can take down the entire system. I've said this many times, and I don't know, maybe this is a dumb thing to talk about on a podcast, but like, if a terrorist wanted to really harm the city of Vancouver, okay? All they gotta do is take out like 2 bridges.
We've had this conversation.
The entire region would grind to a halt.
Yeah.
I'm talking no commerce, no food, like nothing. We have nothing. It's mind blowing.
There's that South Park joke. I love telling people about this, where they talk about the one road in Canada.
Follow the only road. Yeah.
And you realize that like at certain parts of the country there is one road. Like, Highway 1 is actually a very big deal up here.
Yeah.
And when like a bridge goes down and it happens to be in that area where there is just one road, like Canada is split in half temporarily.
Yeah, interprovincial shipping is actually done. It's out.
Yeah.
It's out.
Yeah.
Pontoon bridges for the win, say people. There are places where I don't think it would be feasible. How would you put in a pontoon bridge to replace the Port Mann? I don't think so. Okay, let's talk about something good about Canada. I think the Port Mann is the longest like suspension bridge. It's like the longest freestanding suspension bridge or something like that in something. I don't know if it's like in maybe it's only in Canada. Longest suspension something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a thing. The Port Mann Bridge, one of the longest in the world, was constructed using the balanced cantilever method. Okay, one of the longest in the world. Well, all right, never mind. But it's 2 kilometers long, which in real units that anyone cares about is 1.26. Okay, what are we talking about? Canada is just a road and a handful of bridges in a trench coat.
Kind of, yeah.
No, we're real. I swear.
I was always confused by the South Park joke, and then I was reading the news however many years ago when one of those bridges did go down, and they were talking about how Canada was temporarily split in half, and I was like, wait. And I looked on a map, and I was like, whoa.
Okay.
It literally comes down to one road.
In my preteens, leading up to, thinking about that I would become a driver at some point, I asked my mom to explain to me, because I hear the terms thrown around a lot, to explain to me the difference between a highway and another road. And the reason for that is that one of the major arteries that we would travel on regularly, one Lougheed Highway, at the part of Lougheed Highway where we would turn off into like our neighborhood, like our residential region, at that part, it had traffic lights. It was only 2 lanes, not 2 and 2, like 2 lanes, one each way, with not even a shoulder. Like I don't mean no fancy paved shoulder, no sidewalk. I mean it actually didn't have a shoulder. Not only that, but the left turn that we had to make into our neighborhood wasn't even traffic light controlled, and there wasn't a left turning lane. Like you would just stop in the middle of this supposed highway to perform a left turn. And the worst part is that that was very rarely a problem. I grew up in Ruskin, okay? Cool. What are we talking about? YouTube finally relaxes their overly restrictive profanity policy.
Sort of.
So does that mean I can say words like fuck and
Yeah, so
I think so.
the sort of is that it's relaxed. It's not gone. I think some people interpreted this as like, oh, we can just do whatever we want now. It's like, no, it's not gone.
Do
We're
go
just
on.
Chilling out a little bit. James has a note here that on Thursday, we had a short circuit video receive limited monetization because the host said penis lamp at the 23-second mark.
Penis lamp? Really?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you gonna elaborate on this?
Nope, no one gets any topic information at all. Never mind. Recap. In November, YouTube changed its advertiser-friendly guidelines to be far harsher to obscene language. We talked about that on the WAN show, among other things. Communication was poor, and the language of the new guidelines was vague. The changes applied retroactively, which is the most brutal part,
Super cool.
resulting in previously acceptable content being demonetized without creators knowing why. Now, after a few months of soul searching, YouTube has announced a new set of
Does
softer
Google
profanity
have a
guidelines.
soul? Okay. Sorry.
I don't know about that. Their language is still somewhat vague, and it does not address all creator complaints, but there are now clearer examples of what is and isn't acceptable. Examples are always great in these situations. Videos containing moderate profanity, like asshole or douchebag, or occasional strong profanity, like outside the first 7 seconds of a video, are eligible for full monetization. Oh, so I didn't even have to bleep that, but I felt like it anyways. Videos containing strong profanity in the first 7 seconds or throughout the majority of the video, like are eligible for limited monetization rather than no
I don't know
monetization.
if holding it works, Luke, but okay.
Does it not?
I'm not sure.
It should. It's just a tone, right? Dan?
Yes, it works.
Hey!
Yeah, you hold it for as long as you want.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
thought so. It's just a tone. Videos demonetized after November's changes will apparently be re-reviewed in the coming weeks.
Interesting. So stay tuned and maybe your livelihood something.
Yeah, maybe. According to YouTube, November's changes wound up being far harsher than they had actually intended. It's a discussion question. YouTube has to balance its relationship with advertisers and its relationship with creators. Is it striking the right balance? Is it enough to fix these oversteps after the fact? I think the biggest problem is that it was retroactive and it wasn't clear enough.
Yeah, so as long as they're communicating clearly and they're not going back through your catalog, I think that the longer YouTube exists, the more they're going to have to reckon with the fact that some of the content on their platform was, and
Major
this isn't an
edgelord.
excuse,
There was an edgelord era on YouTube.
but it was from a different time.
Yeah.
And so whether that means that, yeah, I don't know how to, I don't know the best way to deal with that, because I can see how an advertiser with modern sensibilities might look at that old content that some people are still totally watching.
Oh, yeah.
And go, actually, no, that's not really what I signed up for. I mean, it's been kind of eye-opening. I've just sort of randomly here and there picked up episodes of, old shows that I hadn't watched in a long time from like the early 2000s, and just the casual sort of gay humor, casual use of the hard R.
Oh, really?
It's jarring. Yeah, it's jarring now. And for
Casual use of hard R.
yeah, absolutely. Like okay, it was an episode of American Dad, and it was just
Really?
like, yeah, it wasn't for shock value. It was just like used.
Whoa.
Right. Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then, because we didn't even, the term hard R didn't even exist. We didn't think about it, right? And it's funny because to me, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but to my kids,
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
what? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No,
I think
that's
so.
the N word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Oh. Okay, either
Hard
way.
R means ending
I understand.
the N-word
I
with
understand.
a hard R.
I understand what you mean. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay, cool. So I'm glad that
I'm
we have
freaking
cleared that
Neo
up.
over here, dude. We're dodging bullets. That
Yeah.
was bad.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Thank you for that. Right, I forgot about the part where I said, yeah, I just used it. Yeah, no, actually.
That's what I was like. I was pretty surprised with American Dad, and then you were like, "Yeah, me too." I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah,
Okay,
no, you've
all
known
right.
me a long time.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
And yeah,
never been a problem.
No.
Yeah.
Anywho,
We can breathe. Everything's okay.
cool. So
right.
I hope everyone likes not having a job anymore on Monday, because apparently I'm a giant racist.
We didn't lose our money in the bank crash. The
Yeah,
bank
no.
run. But
In the audience run.
all right, we're good. Whew, okay, we're good.
Cool. So anywho, the point is that to my kids, 2002, 2003 is a long time
Oh,
ago.
yeah.
It's kind of like, 10 years before I was born. 1976 is a long time ago to me. It's all relative.
I think
right?
so-
It's like, yeah, peace and love, hippies, like that's a world that I never coexisted with, right? And so it was interesting to me how jarring it was, even though, like I said, to me, people casually using the R word then, is that better?
I think so.
Okay, casually using the R word was it was surprising. All right. So, why don't we do a couple merch messages?
Okay. That sounds like a good idea to me. Okay. This is from Romeo. Would you guys consider a hot dog or a burger a form of sandwich, or would they be their own food category?
No,
Show
I
your
hate it when McDonald's calls their burgers sandwiches. A, because they're burgers, and B, because I think that sandwich has a connotation associated with it that whatever the thing is actually food. And I strongly disagree that anything McDonald's sells is food.
Heck yeah.
Okay, you want another one?
These conversations make me uncomfortable. It's like when people ask if cereal's soup. I'm like, I don't
No,
want to.
cereal is cereal. You would never
Gazpacho.
eat soup dry, but you can eat cereal dry. That's the distinction.
Never had like a packet of ramen without cooking?
Oh, crap.
Haha!
See, this is why I just
Gazpacho.
I don't even want to have the conversation. I don't want to know. I want to live in ignorance. It's just fun. See, this is why I.
Never had
Cereal. You would never
Gazpacho.
eat soup dry, but you can eat cereal dry. That's the distinction.
Never had like a packet of ramen without cooking it?
Oh, crap.
Haha!
See, this is why I just don't.
Gazpacho.
I don't even want to have the conversation. I don't want to know. I want to live in ignorance. It's just food categories. It's not going to affect my life. I don't like. You can't improve my life by convincing me that cereal is soup. I'm just better off where I am. Sorry, do another
Yeah,
one.
this is awful because,
See
even
what
if
I
you go
mean?
like, it's a
Granola
milk
bar?
base, but so is a cream of broccoli soup.
Granola bar.
Granola bar.
If you were to take cream of broccoli soup and like freeze dry it into a bar.
What if you freeze it into a popsicle type?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, this is making me uncomfortable.
See?
Let's move on.
See? Yeah. I don't like it.
Next one's up from Jacob. Happy Friday, guys. I'm an IT engineer that is often disappointed by mature technologies or protocols. What consumer or enterprise tech disappoints you most? Example, Bluetooth, printers, AV, SMB, etc.
Oh, I mean, well, you nailed it on printers.
Printers is just too easy.
Yeah, that's a super low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like this is the sort of thing that I rant about all the time. I would say voice recognition.
Yeah.
is a huge disappointment for me. Not because it's terrible compared to what we started with, but because the promises were so much better than what we ended up with. It took me 4 attempts to call my wife the other night. I said, call Yvonne Ho Mobile. And the first time it got Yvonne Home Mobile, which I don't have a home number listed for her, so I don't know why it would think Yvonne anything home anything, because there is no home number. So it was just like, I'm sorry, who do you want to reach? And then I said, Yvonne Ho Mobile. And it goes, Yvonne How Mobile. I don't have an Yvonne How in my address book. So I try again, Yvonne Ho Mobile. And it goes, and oh man, this is the thing that makes me most angry. You know how it'll do like it'll kind of try to transcribe it to text as you're talking? So it got it. Yvonne Ho Mobile.
And then it like
correct. Changed it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
No! You were so close! You had a perfect match for something on my physical storage of my device, and you undid it.
Why? Yeah, that annoys me. I'm gonna pick mine as Windows.
Really?
And this is actually kind of why, because like and I know a bunch of people might disagree with me, and I don't really care about that part, but I actually quite like the design aspect of Windows 11.
Right.
I like how it looks. I even have been won over by the taskbar thing being in the middle. Yeah.
No,
No.
you're
Yeah.
objectively
No.
wrong.
I'm
No.
okay with that because there's an option to move it, so I don't care.
Oh, sure, fine. But like leaving it in the middle is objectively wrong.
Sure, but you can put it to the side if you want, so it doesn't really matter, right? But
Sure.
the search has been completely bastardized. The search just like doesn't work.
Yeah, it's amazing how bad the search is since Windows 10.
That should not be possible.
It shouldn't.
Like
It's remarkable.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. The search is like the main thing Windows is like almost for in a user experience way at this point, and it's garbage. Like that's
You mean the start menu, not the same. Yeah, you said Windows, but the start menu has
No, I
basically
mean Windows
become-
in general, and I'll get into more points in a second.
All right, okay,
So,
all right.
So the start menu is atrocious, and most users aren't going into things like control panel these days and stuff, to be completely honest. Most users are not. So
Yeah, that's
most
fair.
user interaction with Windows at this point is just the start menu, and the start menu is rough.
Or the desktop.
Yeah,
I
fair
know
enough.
a lot of people who just
Just the
fart
computer
everything
is
onto
the
their
desktop
desktop.
and the start menu. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. The other reason why I'm frustrated is there's certain things that like I feel like Windows should be doing at this point that it's not. And one of those was like I was talking to my brother about this the other day because he needed to send someone or me, I don't remember what the situation was, but a file transfer needed to happen.
I get it. How's there no share menu like you have on Android and iOS and macOS,
Yeah.
basically everything else? Yeah. How is there no built-in screen recording? I don't know.
And like how at this point in time, I should be able to have, and it shouldn't have to go through OneDrive, okay? It should be able to tunnel directly. I should be able to have a family group. And if my brother wants to share me some big file,
Yeah.
it should be able to set up an encrypted
know
thing
what?
between us and handle it.
I think I want to revise my answer because file sharing it has got to be it for me.
Yeah. And like how Windows hasn't taken care of that.
How is it that I'm sitting here next to you and we cannot transfer at line speed over a simple A to A USB cable or at full Wi-Fi speed over the hotspot we are both connected to without going through some onerous,
Yeah.
tedious handshaking
Yeah.
authentication system?
Yep.
It's like, no, it's fine. It's that guy. It's okay. Just chill. Or the fact that my phone is sitting here and it's not as simple as just like beep boop and it's on. And now there are ways to do that. Like, for example, there's actually pretty good file browsing apps where you can just dump files into SMB shares on Android and on iOS for that matter, which is more impressive to me. But it all needs to be premeditated. I can't just spontaneously be sitting in a coffee shop next to someone that I'm meeting and go, here, let me just drag and drop this file over to you. That is, if Windows 12 doesn't have that, I'm going to be sitting there going, what the
What
have
are
they
you guys
actually
doing?
been working on?
Because this is like
Yeah.
I understand there have been improvements, okay? So don't just hold on. But what out of the user experience not user experience. In the way that you use Windows, what has really changed that much since like Vista?
Almost nothing.
Yeah.
Vista underrated.
and I don't even necessarily want to get into that. but like seriously, there have been improvements. Yes, there's been a bunch of improvements. There's the shell thing now. There's all this kind of stuff. But for the average normie user, I don't believe that their Windows experience has really been improved since maybe maybe the average computer can run it a little better now. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like that's not really on them.
And search was better in Vista.
Search was better.
And it had some innovations that have actually gone away, like the games folder that would organize all your games for you.
Yeah.
Like that was pretty cool.
And now every piece of software that has to do with gaming has decided they're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I have 87 different game managers on my computer because every graphics thing is like, oh, you can launch our games through us, as if anyone's going to do that. And then also Steam, and then also everything else. It's like, oh my god, it's just there's the fact that the Games for Windows Live is so terrible is really frustrating. Like Games for Windows Live, imagine an actually really good version of like the PC Xbox app or Games for Windows Live. I know
Games
because
for
it's
Windows
always
Live
been
was
bad.
basically just the worst possible DRM.
But imagine you were like the PM of that, and you could drive the direction.
I could have made it awesome.
Yeah, it could be sick.
Maybe, because you have to get the games industry to cooperate with you, so that's tough. If there's a more fragmented industry, I haven't seen it.
But it has potential that has been squandered.
That's true. That's fair.
And like there's so much you could do with Windows to just make it an awesome experience. And it's just
Steve J3D says, I'm hearing 30-day Vista challenge.
Oh god.
No, that would actually be very risky for people
Security.
like us because of
Yeah.
security. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'd be we might get harpooned.
But like really, I'm thinking back to like, okay, from XP to Vista, yeah, there was some changes in like how I use the computer. But at this point, like my OS upgrades have been for compatibility reasons only.
Yeah.
I have genuinely not wanted a new OS since 7.
Yeah.
Like at all. And I look back at screenshots of XP and I feel nostalgic. And I like the aesthetic and stuff. I look back at screenshots of 7 and I'm like, oh yeah, I can just use that now and it'd be completely fine.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's been disappointing to me.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Plus no drivers for Vista. Yeah, but like those are the reasons why people are upgrading. Compatibility, drivers, security, stuff like that. It's not like, oh wow, there's this new feature in the new one that is really compelling. I can now, just because it's my brother and I'm in the Microsoft family group or whatever, I can just send him whatever file I want from wherever in the world. Microsoft's going to find a way to tunnel us. We don't have to pay for some extra service. It should be fine. But that's just not possible. Search is just borked. So like, I can't find local files because it's constantly just binging things. It's just like, oh my goodness, like it's so rough. I don't know. Like it's like even worse than the voice thing you were describing, where it's like, it's trying to interpret voice and it gets it right and then corrects it to wrong, which is really bad and dumb. I literally typed this in.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
you left no room
Yeah.
for misinterpretation.
like, and it still is like, nah, there's some local files, but I'm not going to bring them up. I'm just going to Bing it. Like, stop. I thought you liked Bing.
Wow, that's super cool, Giancarlo Sar. Basically, charity raising thing. That's awesome.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into LLMs because honestly, until GPT-4 comes out, it's like not that interesting. But Bing's been neutered super hard.
Let's talk about a new product on LTT Store, but not the one that we're actually launching this week. We are planning a collab with the original makers of the ModMat, ModRite.
Oh,
Yeah, we have
right.
reached an agreement in principle to move forward, licensing their trademarks and patents to create a ModMat product. But right now we're in the very, very early stages. We obviously have some ideas of what we want to make it the best possible ModMat on the market. Obviously the place to start for us was collaborating with the creators of the original. But there are some things that we want to add. So I don't know how many of these are going to make it from my wish list into an actual physical product. But some of the ideas that we've had are heat resistant. Dan, I was thinking of you. Heat resistance, so if anyone were to accidentally leave a soldering iron or a hot glue gun or something like that on one.
Did he do this?
No.
Okay.
I think of
Oh,
Dan sometimes.
I
What?
gotta go back to HQ2. Hold on.
Yeah. So if someone were to leave a hot item on it,
So somebody's
Should it
already
burn
tagged
through?
me. Maddie McMatt face.
no.
No.
I'd love to have some kind of embedded, like screw management, like kind of like embedded magnets, so that
yeah.
you could kind of just stick like iron containing screws or ferrous screws or
Little
whatever
screw
else.
sorting area
Yeah,
built into the mat.
onto like a little spot, or maybe it could be an attachment. I don't know. There's lots of different ideas. One idea we have already that I'd really like to move forward with is right now. Like whether you pick up one from Uline or even the original mod mat or anything like that, the way that you attach an anti-static strap to it is with that awful like button interface. I know it's industry standard or whatever, like that.
It is.
That's fine. But what if you could make it modular? So what if you had a really strong magnetic interface that you can stick the button thing on, so that every time you attach your strap, it just sticks onto there. Then
You could theoretically use it for something else, too.
then you could have different pieces. So you could have a little, like those little wrist strap things. So they have like a little bar, and then you put a thing through it, and you tie a wrist strap onto it. So you could just have like a little bar that you could clip an alligator clamp to. Because I mean that's super annoying, right? When you have one of those button interface ones, and then you have a wrist strap that has an alligator clamp, you're like, this doesn't really go on here. So if you could have like a modular interface for that, and it could be magnetic, that was one of the ideas that I had. So anyway, the point is that there is a post in the merch section of the forum. So if you guys have any creative ideas for what you'd like to see in a mod mat, talk about what you look for, what you like, what you dislike, your favorite, your least favorite, and why. And if you think there are any key features that are missing from any mod mats that are currently on the market, and we are going to try to address it. We want to make the best darn mod mat. And like I said, really, really excited to be starting from a place where we're working with like the original creators of the mod mat. Pretty cool. I actually still have my original ModRite mod mat on my build station at home in the basement.
That's cool.
And that was one of the things that sort of prompted me to finally get off my butt and ask someone else to do something for me. No, Nick was the one who reached out.
You noticed, like, this is a little old.
Yeah, it's pretty old. And I was like, yeah, like what happened to these guys? Oh, they're still around? Okay. Why don't we reach out? Because I think that would be awesome. Very excited.
Can you buy theirs anymore?
I actually don't know. That's a good
I
question.
don't seem to be able to on their site, but I don't know. They still have copyright 2013, which is pretty sick. Oh yeah, Dan actually mentioned this before the show. They're still advertising Firefox 3.
Cool.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I recognize that for sure.
Ah, look at this!
Hey!
My unboxing! This video must still be around. Wow. That's awesome. ModRite Mod Mat unboxing video. Just casual 9-year-old video. June 13th, 2013. Almost 10 years old.
Nice. Nice.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh, yeah. No, this is the one. Or wait, is this the one I have at home? I'm not sure. It might be the bigger one. Oh, no, it wasn't seeing it at home that prompted me. It was seeing the one on Dan's desk. So I have one of these, and then Dan, you have one of these on your desk too, right?
That's right. Yeah, I do all my electronics on it. I came with my desk.
This one, right?
That's the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the
It's
one I'm still
that
using.
Yeah, I've
one.
seen that around a few
Oh my
times.
god, I'm having my own starstruck moment. I get to use Linus's mod
Oh
mat.
my god. Just relax, okay? But yes, that is the actual one from that video 9 years ago. Still going strong 9 years later, right?
It's literally perfect. I would
they're
not
really
have guessed that
durable.
it's been in use for 9 years. It's amazing.
Yeah. So we're going for it. We're going for it. I'm really excited. I think we've got the right starting point. I think we've got kind of some really good ideas to evolve what is sitting at my build station and what's on your desk. That's going to be good. Okay, we will finally talk about the product we're launching this week. I didn't let Luke touch it, but this is one that has been in the works for good gravy. I'm pretty sure we started this before Bridget joined.
Whoa, okay.
Wait, no, is that quite right? No, it must have been very early in her tenure. So it's been well over a year in development. So we completely missed like an entire spring, winter, fall cycle of availability that we had targeted, and we are now through the fall and winter and in getting dangerously close to the spring of like the next target for it. But we wanted to take the time to get it right, and it's finally here. It's the 3D down jacket.
Do I go now?
We did a is that wait, which one?
That's
is this-
yours. That's
this
yours.
is- oh no, this isn't mine. This is the small. I have
Oh.
mine in my backpack.
Oh. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so yeah, you get to play with it now. So what's really cool about this thing is the material. Sometimes
Feels nice.
sometimes you start the product development process with a garment you're trying to create. The shirt that Luke is wearing, for example, we set out to create a t-shirt that was really comfortable and blah blah blah, etc. And we sought a material to make it out of. They can't see any of that. Actually, Dan, do you wanna man the camera?
Hold on, let me redo it.
With the 3D down jacket, we found this really cool material. It's not quite down, it's not quite 3D printed, but there is a down layer out of the, I believe it's 11 layers on the jacket. Let me double check.
It says it's 3D printed down fabric features, stain resistant, breathable, 4-way stretch,
Yeah,
lightweight,
so
heat retention, wind resistant, water resistant.
It's not, okay, it's not 3D printed in the same way that you would imagine like a plastic part, but it is an additive process. Did I just, oh, hello, Dan.
I was like, is this a video of how it's made? Wow.
But it is laid down with an additive process that deposits the fibers rather than weaving them. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to have this kind of cobweb pattern that puts room between them for better breathability, and it also makes the insulation absolutely fantastic for the thickness. So yeah, check it out. The outer shell is a blend of
I'm
nylon and
assuming
spandex.
this is YKK.
So of course.
Yeah.
Um,
YK zipper, water resistant.
Yep. Of course. All the seams are taped. I believe it's 18,000 millimeters of water resistance. We never call anything waterproof. Water resistance, internal pockets. But what's really special about it is the 3D down, or a 3D printed down, or whatever you kind of want to call it. There is a down component to it. But the interior material, because it's super insulating, it's really comfy. So if you're the kind of person like me, and like I assume Luke, who would just be in a t-shirt, even in fairly adverse weather, but might want a jacket when he goes outside, it's really, really nice on the skin. We spent a lot of time on getting the fit just right. There is a little bit of stretch in the outer shell, though. It's breathable with good wind resistance. It's reasonably water resistant. It's lightweight. I just absolutely love this thing.
It looks really sharp. Where's is there any branding on it?
Just a
I
little
haven't
bit.
seen any.
On the very bottom right, I think, of the bottom there. Yeah, if you stand up, maybe we'll be able to see it. Whoop, whoop, and he whacks the thing. There's a little, can you see it? There's like little dots that make a little LTT. We're going for really subtle branding on this. We wanted it to just look really clean.
I'm trying to show it out. It's a little hard.
Yeah,
It's
don't
right-
worry about
right
it. It's fine. The point is that it's yeah, it's light, it's comfy, it's super warm for the weight, and the hood is big enough. That was something that we actually
Hood is
really struggled
huge.
with. Yeah.
I like huge hoods. They're
Yeah.
good because if you wanted to wear like a toque or something under it, you actually can.
But there's two things that okay, again, this took a while. You can adjust the hood such that, and the way that it pulls on it, it doesn't have to be huge. And then there's adjustments around the bottom as well. Another thing that took us kind of forever to, yeah, there's another one on the other side. Another thing that took us forever to get right is the adhesive on the sleeves. So the sleeves err a little bit on the long side because we've gotten really good feedback from people about long sleeves. But obviously, if you want them to stay in place, you're going to have adjuster things. Okay, but hold that up to the mic while you rip it off. It's really strong.
Yeah.
It will not come off, and it's not like your typical hook and loop fastener if you look at it closely. It's like
Oh,
a really cool one that really definitely super does not come apart.
funky.
Yeah. So
This
I was,
has a nice, like, almost like rubbery, like soft touch textile to it too.
Yep.
Texture.
I am
is nice.
so happy with this thing.
It's really nice.
It's really expensive. Thanks, Dan. It's a $250 jacket. Like, our cost is pretty high because
It-
these materials are
Feels too nice to not be.
really expensive. But like, yeah, it is what it is.